the very first episode of Made It with Gaelle. I'm so excited to be kicking off this journey with an incredible guest tonight. He's a staple in Montreal's music scene. He's spinning at one of my favorite spots in the city. Music is not just a passion for him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the DJ Pat Boogie. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you tonight?
I'm great. You?
I'm good, thank you. Pat, I wanted to start my episode tonight before diving into anything else. I would like to talk about your childhood and this connection with music. How did it start?
Well, it goes way back where my dad, he had a record collection because my parents were from Haiti, and when he was in Haiti at some point he was a radio host, and he got a collection of music that he brought back here in Canada. So I was always curious when I was very young age to look at the sleeves, and I was really impressed by the vinyl covers, and also he had a great collection of he would buy speakers and hi-fi sound system, and I was always intrigued with electronics and the lights, and it is very fascinating for me because I don't know, it's just also my dad, he had a acoustic room, like everything was all designed where like he has these like wall of like panel to make sure the sound is right. So I was always accustomed to like quality sound in my house.
So you had this curiosity to check stuff out.
Yeah, probably like since like 5-6 years old. I was
wow,
already,
that
like,
was
pretty,
young.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and Pat, did you grow up on which type of music?
Well, my parents they liked either French classic song. They grew up in it was jazz. There was also soul music, disco, and then after that, my personal when I was growing up is more like pop music, like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, and then I got interested in rap music, and then house dance music came just a little later because it was starting to grow as it was getting more popular, and I started to buy records as well when I was like a teenager, and from then on I just started to develop an interest for DJing.
And this is when you had this connection for music, right?
Yep.
And I had a question. When did you decide to take this maybe passion and love for music and take it beyond this, like to take it as a more than a hobby, like to a job?
Oh,
was there this moment with any artist, a DJ, or any music, a concert that turned this, the Pat Boogie anew?
To be really honest, it's not even something that I planned. I mean, it's something you, as a child, you have dreams. Like you're in this universe of music, and you want to just express yourself, but you're not really having an idea like how we're going to make a career. Because in the era that I grew up, there was no DJ that you can actually see like a long extensive career. Most of them were already maybe in their 30s and they were still thriving, so it was hard for me to even figure out which path am I going to take to just even make this more than a hobby. So until a certain time I had no idea, and sometimes it took me a while to really say, okay, this is what I want to do professionally, because once again, I grew up in my parents from Haiti, and when you have immigrant parents, they expect a lot. They expected something else for you. Like sometimes it's hard for you to say with conviction that, oh, this is what I really want to do. So I studied in marketing. I made my degree, but
oh, so you did marketing?
Yeah, I did marketing.
You did it here?
Yeah, I did
Where
it here.
exactly?
You can.
Okay. So from marketing to music.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's helped me though. I mean, marketing still helped me as a tool.
Definitely.
But it's just that while you're doing the study, you don't really think something that serious. Also, you have the pressure from your parents and society, and so while you exercising your hobby, you're still not really convinced that this is what you really want to do. Sure. There's this part when you want to please.
There's decisions that you have to take.
Yeah, it's a decision that sometimes it's pretty scary. You're like, okay, what am I going to do? I mean, is it going to be a stable, something that you can sustain for a long run financially? So it took me a while before realizing, okay, like, this is what I can do. I mean, I think when I played in a club back in the South Shore of Montreal, and I realized that, I guess it's when you have a connection with the crowd, it's when you realize, okay, this is something I'm good at, and I can continue doing this until the right opportunities comes along. But at the same time, you have to be, I was very naive.
Oh, yeah?
And I think that really helped me though.
For sure.
You have
because,
to be naive.
to overcome, what your parents expected you to become. Like, I'm sure, like, your parents expect to become maybe, I don't know, I've been told an engineer, a doctor, and those, type of things. I understand because, like, in my culture, it's the same thing as I was mentioning on my feed yesterday. And as you know, that parents expect a lot from their kids.
Yes.
But my question is, you mentioned something that you didn't have someone to look up to in the future, like someone to look up to in the DJing field. How did you push yourself to go out there and even try, like when was your first time to DJ? Was it with friends? How was it?
Yeah, it was with friends because like I would host like some parties in the basement. Like I was maybe like 15 years old.
15? Oh my God.
Yeah, and then but it's just at some point it's not that serious, because I don't have the proper equipment that I would dream of, for the DJ that I see. Because also my profession wasn't really advertised like that. You had like DJ producers that were, I guess, musicians that became DJ and producers, but some of them I never see them face because on the cover of the record you wouldn't see their face.
Just the name, right?
It was just names, so it was hard for me to figure out, like, just to visualize how I would make this a career.
Yeah, how they look like when
All I knew was that oh wow, I'd like to be with this DJ. Like for example, there's a guy named Louis Vega. He's my first inspiration.
Wow.
But it was only a name, just to tell you, I thought he was black.
Oh yeah.
But he's Puerto Rican, from New York.
That's how you imagined him in your head.
Well, I mean that's the only way I could imagine because house music from a black culture, right? So in my head I thought all these were black. I mean, unless maybe the name would tell me otherwise, but Little Louis Vega, I didn't think so much of anything, right? So, but before I bought the CD and I saw his face, oh wow, and then, but still, it was not enough for me to say, oh, this is what I really want to do. I think it's when I played in the club, and that's where I had the full experience of like what could be a night I would play and having people react to what I'm doing.
When you were young, like when you were 15, 16, growing up, like 16, 17, what were you thinking you'd become now? Were you thinking you'd become a DJ by now?
I was dreaming, but I wouldn't. It's hard to explain. It's because I had no idea. It's really, when I say you have to be naive, it's because you have to. It's like you want to, but you don't know how to get there. So it was hard for me to materialize that dream. All you do is just dreaming and like, I could see myself there, and you're just dreaming, but there's no. And even my parent would challenge me and say, well, what you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna do it? And I didn't even know what the answer is. I don't know that. I mean, like, I'll figure it out. That's all I could do.
Did you go to university and chose marketing for your family, or like what were you thinking when you chose marketing?
Well, it's something that spoke to me as well because it was talking about like it's human relation, it's strategies to get to people to like a product. So these were things that I was interested in.
So you're into sales, you're into people, you like to talk with people.
Yeah, exactly. I chose something that I enjoy, I was interested in, but in the back of my mind I was always thinking like, well, how can I get into this music business,
Did you have any orientation back then? Like, do you think that when you were young you had enough orientation on what to do, what to love, or no one helped you back then?
You mean what? By passion? You mean like by interest?
I mean, when we were young, like I can speak from myself. Like I went to school, I finished school, I graduated, I went to university.
Yeah.
I chose my major because I was smart in my field, in my biology.
Yeah.
I wanted to become a doctor. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
But growing up, there was no orientation other than what my mom told me, what my father told me, what the environment tells me. Like, you're so smart, you gotta do that, Gaelle. You wanna do this? No, you have more potential to do that. Were there like an influence in any side other than your family?
Well, I had my friends. Like, I think my brother's friend was a DJ.
Oh.
Like, so he was the one that would go into his house to practice and everything, and that's when I was like, okay, this is how you do it. But yet I was just going out. When I was going out in clubs, even if I was underage, sorry. I mean, but that's how I had the first time experience of seeing how it goes.
How was it? How did it feel? Do you remember where was it?
Yeah, it was magic. I mean, I loved it. I was like, because there's something about like when you have an influence on people's mood and vibe when the DJ plays music and people react to it. There's something about it that you want that. You want to. I want to be able to do this. When the DJ is playing a song and people are like having their hands in the air or just having this crazy reaction, Like you want to be that person. So that's when I was like, oh, I could see myself doing that. And in my head, I was hearing some DJ, and I was like, I think I can do as good as them. Some of them even better. And I just believe in myself.
For me, my experience was being not behind the DJ set. I've always been the one who watches DJs.
Yeah.
So I don't have both experiences. How do you describe the difference? Like, do you go now party or no? You just go and DJ?
No, I like to hear new DJs. I like to hear, because also I go out to also observe the crowd and see what are they reacting to, because that's how you perfect your craft. Like, I mean, I don't take everything for granted. Sometimes you can always learn from something else, from somebody else. Even if the DJ is not as popular or whatever, you can always learn something. Sometimes, just when you think you got it, sometimes, I don't know, you can go out in a place and you realize that the crowd that you thought would react to something specific, they're not reacting. And you have to figure out why and discover new trends or new way of making the crowd having a good time. So I still enjoy going out. Really, because it's part of my profession as well.
Yeah. For how long have you been in this industry so far, approximately?
Close to 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was only in Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal. But I would go, there was a conference called the Winter Music Conference that was held in Miami.
Oh, wow.
And I started that like in the early 2000s to go every year. And that's when all my DJ heroes, I got to see them in action and live. And I think this is when I realized the magnitude of the movement, because when you're in your bedroom, in your room, and you hear these songs, these amazing songs, you hear them, you feel them, but it's different when you're actually playing it live. And I guess it was the first time I was witnessing the culture of it, the dance floor, the people, why those songs were a hit, played by these people. And I think the Miami conference was really like a cornerstone for me.
If you want to compare, before comparing Miami to Montreal, do you think Montreal provides enough opportunities for DJs to grow, or you think we're oversaturated here?
Well, we for the longest time we had a great pool of great DJs in Montreal, particularly. I mean, even for the rest, compared to the rest of Canada, it was known that like Montreal DJs were very superior in terms of like skills, in terms of diversity of music. Now I think it became a bit saturated, to be honest, because I think the entry level to be a DJ has gone much more easier. So
the standards are lower, you think?
I think so, yeah. But because technology allowed a lot of people to become a DJ or to just at least exercise. Just like back in the day when, I don't know, electric guitar was like the thing. Everybody wanted to be a rock star, so it was a thing. But now I think DJ, it's kind of like the new
trend, right?
Yes, the new trend.
And like, if you want to compare it to Miami, how do you compare the nightlife?
Well, me, when I was going, was more for a conference. So there were parties where people were coming from a lot of places, where Canada, the United States, some people coming from Europe. But it was much more, how can I say? I mean, the weather is different, so obviously you don't party the same way.
Yeah.
I would say in the States, people party differently than here. Here, I think we have this special aspect where we hear it from the European culture and North American culture. So there's this special blend, this special melting pot that we have that is very unique in the world. And I think that's what makes the city great. I mean, a lot of people from outside of Montreal, outside of Canada, they want to party here because they want to experiment that sort of special melting pot. So I would say Montreal, so far, it's one of the top 5 cities.
I've honestly enjoyed my undergrad period here. Like, I was living in downtown.
Yeah.
So like, we used to party a lot, and I like it. It's not that bad, I have a question. As you know, burnout is really real, especially when you take this passion that you love and turn it into a real job. Because now DJing is not just a passion. You cannot go not prepared. You cannot go not ready. You have a crowd. They are waiting for you. They are expecting from you the best of the best.
Yeah.
How do you stay inspired? How do you keep yourself motivated?
Yeah. Definitely. People, you have to come prepared to face like adversities, because that already that environment is not stable. It's not like you have a contract and you have a residency, let's say for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you stay. Sometimes there's things are come and go. Sometimes
Like gigs, small gigs from here and there.
yeah, sometimes even if an owner, let's say, he wants to replace you because he wants to go in another direction, well, then he could just fire you, let's say, and you can't do much about it. So
You're just a number, like any other job.
yeah, exactly. But I think what kept me motivated until this day, and this is an advice I always tell people, is to never let no one kill the child in you that dreams, because this is what's gonna keep you just being fascinated by the world you evolve in, the environment. Because the minute your dreams are killed, I think that's when a lot of people that's when I guess depression would hit, or the low energy would come, because you're not dreaming anymore. You're not aspiring to anything else. So me, I think, fortunately for me, I mean, I was very stubborn with my dream, because it's something I really want to
How
do.
it should be to turn a dream into a reality. Really have to be stubborn sometimes.
Yeah, stubborn, naive, once again, perseverant. But but I would say, never let anyone. It's like you have to keep that dream like it's sacred. You have to keep it like you're and lock it in, and never let anyone get in there.
And this is why, like, when you want to choose a field that what you want to spend your whole life in, you really need to know what to choose. And it's never too late to like flip everything. Like, let's say I'm working at a company and I don't like it. The second I think it's not for me, I gotta start thinking, what am I doing here? Sometimes I wake up and like I don't feel like going to work. I feel like staying in bed. But I wake up and I go to work because like I have to go to work. But at my work I don't have to like talk with people and socialize.
True.
But for you as a DJ, let's say you woke up today and you're moody. You don't feel like seeing people. You're mad, you're sad, something happened. I don't know, someone's death happened. How do you push yourself and you go and make people happy while you're sad?
I mean, if I could speak for myself, I mean, I consider myself very fortunate that I'm not a moody person to begin with. I would say pretty zen. And when you're a passionate person, I think that drive will keep you putting your A game or your game face. I mean, sometimes you have no choice. Like, if it's something that really motivates you and this is only your source of income, it's almost like survival instinct. Like say, hey, there was many times I was DJing and I was sick, but nobody would ever know that, because it's almost kind of, it's like in French, a vocation, like dedicated to what you're doing. So like no matter if you're sick, maybe down, maybe I don't know, maybe some death happened in your family.
Just push yourself.
Yeah, you have to be like, because it's kind of like your duty. I mean, for sure, there'll be time you might not be in your 100%, of course, but I think it's you have to be grateful. If you're grateful to the life you choose, well then you'll find a way to motivate yourself.
You were mentioning something about the crowd, the connection with the crowd.
Yes.
Do you remember how your connection with the crowd evolved? Like, is it by nature or nurture? Did you practice how to build this connection, or it came naturally?
It's an instinct that you have or you don't, I would believe, especially when it comes to DJing, because you have to pick and choose the right songs, because each song have their different emotions coming out of it. So when you do a DJ set, it's not so much that you prepare yourself song by song, but you just gotta identify the one that are more, I don't know, I guess brings out more joyful, happy, the one that are more emotional, the one that are more aggressive, and you just have to find a way to, when you enter a place and you look around and see what group of people was where, and I don't know, any type of characteristic, like it's say ethnicity, group of age, gender, you gotta just try to find a recipe to gather all these people together and be able to choose the right song at the right moment. And I think the connection with the crowd, I think it's when you're able to read the crowd already in advance. It's a guessing game too. You have to guess why they're here, each and every one, and then you, with your, I guess, skills of intuition or instinct, you find a way to choose the right song to connect with the crowd.
And usually every time you DJ, you spin in different places. Different places provide you with the theme of what you have to DJ, or like you get to choose, or like each place has their own vibe.
Yeah, each place has their own vibe. It's just depending on the way the place is designed. the lighting, also just the type of people that would come out. Some people are just more, let's say it's a student crowd. Let's say if more people are more upscale. Some of them are just there to just dance. Some of them are just there to have a drink. So whether I have different type of crowd, I adapt myself. I think that's one of my biggest strengths is to adapt, be able to adapt. And while still playing what I want to play, but I make it in a way where like I adapt it to like this specific place and this specific night.
Do you remember your first time spinning after not when you considered yourself kind of experienced?
Yeah.
Do you remember your first time spinning back then?
Yeah.
Can you express how did you feel?
Well, I mean, you're a bit nervous because people, I guess, you're responsible for a crowd of, let's say, 150, 200 people. So whatever comes outside of the speakers, you're responsible. So you're responsible with the equipment. You're responsible how it's going to sound. So of course, you're mixing skill when it's time to make a transition. Well, you don't want to mess up. So like you're kind of nervous, but at some point, if you're in your own zone, and you know what to choose to play at a moment, you'll get to feel the people, and because there's always a little period where maybe the first 45 minutes for the first hour you're just testing. You want to test how people react, and sometimes if you have to be quick. If let's say people are not reacting to a song, well then you have to be able to switch and be able to be like, oh okay, this didn't work, let me just change the vibe a little bit and see. But I guess the first time when I was playing, I was just so happy, I was just so excited to just play, because that's like a childhood dream. Like you want to play and you want to express whatever you learn. You want to show it to people. I think before being a DJ, I was a music curator. Okay. In a sense. I think if I could recall memories from my childhood, I was always the one, let's say we would gather at someone's place or outside. Okay. I was always the one bringing my music and make sure the music was good. Because I could not tolerate that we're in a group and the music is shit.
Okay, yeah.
And I was always the one like making sure, even when we go to a car ride, I was making sure the CD was proper, the vibe was this. So I was already a vibe creator before being a DJ. So I guess I had that in me for the longest time. So when I had an opportunity to play in a proper place in a club, well, I was just so excited to just make people discover music and make them have a good time.
Did you have your doubts back then? Like you went back home and you think, oh, maybe this is not for me, I don't belong here. About the...
Oh, no, never.
The imposter syndrome. No, you didn't have this. You didn't feel like it's not...
I always believed that I was born to do this.
Wow, that's why you made it.
Yeah, well, because, like I said, when I was 5, 6 years old, I was already indulged in a universe of music. I don't know how to say, maybe... I don't know if everybody can feel that, but music is very powerful. It can have a really great impact on you. You have to have that musical ear, and I had the way I was hearing sound. I guess I didn't see myself in any other field than being in the music. Honestly.
That's how you know that you're doing whatever you're made to.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think I would continue doing that for that long and being so passionate. Because I feel like when I play, there's still this 11-year-old child in me that was playing with vinyl and try to find the right way to make a transition. So when I play, I always carry that child, that child in me.
In you.
That's why I think that I don't have these doubts.
I've always believed that music is a language by itself. Mm-hmm. All my friends know that I usually play a game with them when we like a lot and we're bored. I make them play a game where I ask them to choose a song that is gonna reflect whether they are sad, they are happy, or it reminds them of 2019, summer 2022, and you feel like you can really get a person through a music. Once we were sitting with my friends and I told them to choose a song that if I'm hearing it for the first time, I can get the first impression. And I was amazed by how I know them, they are my friends. But when they chose their song, you see them in a different perspective where how they see it themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
When you meet someone friend or other than friend, do you consider their taste in music as a criteria to make them in the close friend? Yes.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess also it's even when we do it in high school as well. I mean, our friends are mostly, we hang out with people that have the same similar tastes.
Ceux qui se ressemblent, ça semble, right?
You know, well, I mean, like, let's say just choice of clothing or musical taste. And we're pretty much defined by our preferences, more or less, you know. So I guess me being a DJ, I guess I have this thing where I tend to, since my job is to observe and evaluate people with their moods and everything, well, I guess it became a thing for me to evaluate them with their musical taste. I mean, even it goes with dating. Sometimes as a girl, if she has like poor or cheesy taste, I mean, hey, she might be really nice and sweet, but there's always gonna be a side of me like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of work to do. I have to teach a lot, you know. Hopefully, but yeah, I tend to do that. I don't know if it's a good thing, but yeah.
Now let's go a bit more professionally. Yeah. How does it happen to create a set? What is the process exactly for someone who's into DJing? He wanna become a DJ. He knows that he has this talent in him. Yeah. Doesn't know where to start. How he has to start?
I would say that there's not too much preparation to it, you know, because I would say to someone who wants to start new and to, I guess, want to pursue the path of being a DJ, I would recommend that person to let their instinct talking, because it's not so much about the technical aspect, because at some point technology made it so easy to mix that now, I mean, you press a certain button and the mix can it can do it for you. So It's not so much about the technique now. It's more about like
the taste.
There's taste, and also your ability to read the crowd, the ability to really sense the why people are here.
So we're back to the crowd and the connection.
Yeah, the connection. So sometimes it's not so much about how you're gonna be able to make the perfect mix or the perfect blend. It's really about like, what is the song that right now, with what I'm seeing, what is the song that's gonna make them hook onto something and having a flow.
How would someone know that he's made to be a DJ? If it's like he has never DJed in a place, how would he know he has this connection in him?
That person needs to be, I guess, close to their emotion. Also be able to feel things. And you don't necessarily need to be super sociable. It's just more about how you're in tune with your emotion and your feelings, and how you're able to sense, detect the feeling out of every song. So then you're more able to give back to the crowd what you're actually feeling, and so then people can feel you, because it's an energy exchange. You know, it's a back and forth thing. I provide the energy, they give me back the energy, and it's an ongoing, constant exchange during the night. Yeah.
Being a freelancer, if you want to say, because like you're your own boss right now.
Yeah.
Do you plan ahead of time? Like, do you have a plan? Like on Monday, I'm gonna wake up at this. I have to like practice. On Tuesday, I have to practice, because you know you DJ on Thursday, Saturday,
on the weekends.
On the weekends, right? Yeah. So weekdays, like the beginning of the week, is basically your prep week. How do you plan it? Are you an organized person?
I'm a very organized person. Yes. It's not so much very precise, specific days. It's just I know that like at some point, if I'm, let's say, starting to DJ on a Thursday, I'll know that by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll need to listen to a certain amount of music. You know, and that will take me many hours. It's just I could just wake up sometime and just say, okay, I'm ready to listen to music. But also I can also spend a whole Monday night of listening to music, and because I'm so passionate about it, I can almost do it all-nighter and go to bed at 6 a.m. because I was listening to music and I was like, keep on discovering new things, and then the next day I will rest a little bit and then restart later on in that day. But I'll manage to like always being prepared to like, because I listen to a lot of music. I mean, that preparation is really into like listening and going to different sites, and just also social media is part of my. I see what DJ plays, what music they played at this place, and I see the reaction of crowd to see, oh, that's a new trend. Oh, I see that crowd is reacting to this, and then it's part of my job to also get in tune with what's going on in my industry.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, because you know this industry is evolving really fast. Like clubbing was different a few years ago.
Yeah.
How do you keep up? Isn't it hard? Because like you have to be very fast to keep up with everything.
Well, it's because if you've been doing this for that long, those things are becoming very automatic. You know, to me, it's not so hard for me because
a piece of cake.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, the one word I would just say, if you're passionate, there's nothing will, like, you know what they say, I think it's Confucius to say, find something you love and you'll never work again ever.
Wow.
And I think this is what it is. Honestly, like, I haven't really working been for the past 25 years. It's not really, I made it a job, I made it a profession, but it doesn't really feel like work because I'm so passionate. I'm still a child, like I said. So when I'm even waking up or let's say going to the computer and listening to music, I'm happy to do it. It's not like, okay, I have to do it, and then so it feels very natural to me to do it, and then like and also to keep up with what's going on. It's like a muscle. It's like when you train, like an athlete, like he's going to the gym. It's not something that it might be hard depending on how he pushes himself, but let's say just it's a routine to just stay in shape. He won't even, or he or she won't even feel like it's a task. It's just part of his or her routine, you know.
At the end of the day, you have to choose your heart, right?
Yeah.
Like you can choose your heart, and it can even be the good heart or the bad heart. Pat, can we say to the audience that you are a people pleaser? Like you play what the audience is expecting from you, or like you always try to keep this authenticity and like to show yourself through this music?
Yes, the thing is, because I became professional about it, I have also a professional approach, because you're not just playing for yourself. You know, like I'm an artist, I consider myself an artist, but also I'm a professional. So also I have to work with a club owner or a party promoter. So like, if I know what I'm getting myself into, well then I know if they have a specific crowd, then it's my job to also design, if you'd say, a set where it will also make the crowd happy, but yet I'm always gonna keep my Pat Boogie essence, let's say.
Yeah.
It's a mix of both. Honestly, if I want to be professional, you have to take this in consideration.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I would just be an artist and just play what he wants to play at any time he wants, then it wouldn't suddenly be a job. It would be more like, let's say, like kind of like a painter who's doing an exposition just for himself and he invites his own people. But if you're a professional, you have to have a certain way where it's not about necessarily pleasing people, but just finding a way to make the venue as a business. Because like, you know, there's alcohol sales, there's, you know, entrance. So you have to play music where people are gonna just, they want them to be happy to spend money and to drink. Again, that's what the club owner wants. So you have to find a way to choose songs that please your soul as well, but also you know that it will please other people's soul. It's just a combination of both.
You mentioned something that was stuck in my mind. You mentioned talking to the manager. Can we say that a DJ who's very skilled music-wise, but is not social, can he make it?
Nowadays, I would say not so much, because now it's almost about PR skills now. You need to be sociable. You need to be at least personable. You know, and you have to have your upbringing will get you pretty far. I guess you can be talented, but if you're not a personable person, you don't know how to talk to people, or you either, I don't know, you act entitled, or you probably won't make it. I mean, you can only go that far, because manager also, they want to work with people that are, I wouldn't say necessarily easy to work with, but at least like have a certain relationship. And I think when you build a relationship with manager or club owner, they will want to continue in the long run to work with you, because they know that you're aware of how you present yourself.
They gotta trust you. They gotta trust you at the end of the day. It's their living outcome. Their outcome, you know, like you're representing them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But can you give us 5 qualities that a DJ should have in order to kind of make it in life? 5 qualities.
5 qualities. Well, passion. I'll never say it enough. Passion. I would say marketing savvy. You have to know how to brand yourself, know who you are. I would say develop the skill of having good taste in music, being open-minded with every genre of music, not just your own field. You have to also develop your PR skill. I think going out to places, shake hands, or like just observe. Sometimes just go out alone and just observe. Just be in the observing mode and just watch people how they react to music. Just watch the DJ, go hear other people. Be curious. Yeah, curious is a great
You
quality.
gotta be curious.
Yeah,
Exactly.
be
You gotta be
curious.
questioning yourself. You have to question yourself, ask
Yeah.
questions, go out there.
Yeah, and be humble also. You have to be humble. Don't put yourself ahead of the music, ahead of the movement, because you're always in a learning position. You'll never learn everything. There's always something to learn. Even myself right now, I'm still learning. Always remain a student. I think, yeah, being humble will definitely get you far.
How do you define success, Pat?
How do I define success?
Success, yeah.
The success, okay, I'd say this from DJ perspective. I think a real DJ cannot have his only source of motivation just the success or the outcome of it. You know, you have to have another source of motivation if you want to continue on, because otherwise, if you only think about the end goal of the finish line, you'll get discouraged pretty fast. You know, it's like a marathon, like a marathon runner. If a marathon runner only thinks about the finish line, well, you know, it's 42.2 kilometers. I mean, there's a lot of kilometers to run. So like you have to have something other than the end goal or the outcome of anything that's remotely related to the idea of success or making it. I know that the theme is making it, but I think the whole making it's the idea of like you have a goal, you have a dream, and you're passionate about it, and you're also excited to the journey.
It's a process at the end of the day.
Yes, the process. You have to be excited about the process rather than just the end goal. Because if you just focus on the end goal of the idea of making it a success, you'll get discouraged very fast. The minute you're gonna encounter an obstacle, you're not gonna be happy.
By mentioning this, I realized that we have to really be grateful and also mention that small wins are always wins.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, you know, of everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Because I think that it's baby steps. You have to don't think too far. Like I would say, because it's just like anything, any routine. Just say, okay, today I did this. Now I need to do what I need to do with the other step. But if you only just think about like, oh, I can't wait to play in front of 1,000 people. If you only have that in mind, I mean, I don't think it's a great mindset to have.
Not a great start to start. Yeah.
No, exactly. You have to just think, okay, let me just get the right equipment. Let me just get better at my craft. And then let's say if I invite some friend over, okay, let me just find a way to do it good, and then be open to criticism also, so then you can readjust yourself. And the process is it's a very exciting part.
It is, right? Was it hard for you? The process, like the journey, was it hard in the beginning?
Well, I mean, you it's because it's hard to get your first opportunity. You know, it's hard because you always dream about, okay, what can I do to get to that place, that party, or that club you heard, and you don't have the connection, you know, because it's a connection game. It's not just what you know, it's who you know, obviously. But fortunately for me, it just took one party that I did in Montreal.
Where was it? Do you remember?
It was a party that surprised Sugar Sammy. He's a comedian now, but back then he was a promoter.
Oh.
And it happened. There was one of his party, and so other promoters heard me, and from then on, I think everything started to work out, because I remember Sugar Sammy, among other promoters, they were like, "Hey, give me your phone number. Let me call you, because we're gonna do a night," and it just went on, and I just kept being good at what I do, and every time I was impressing enough people to get other opportunities. So sometimes you just need one shot.
That night, have you thought that you'd be here right now?
I was hoping so, but honestly, for the longest time, I would never know what would happen the next month. There's no guarantee in this. Honestly, you just gotta really believe in yourself. Because, I mean, sometime even maybe, I don't know, just 10 years ago, I mean, come, let's say, January, where things are slow, sometimes I would wonder what would happen to me in March, and I have no idea. And until, like, I get phone calls that's starting, and then people, oh, okay, I'm going to work again. But sometimes there'll be years I'm like, well, is this the end?
It's scary, right? Because, like, you're not stable.
Yeah, that's it. It's not stable. But you have to just remain confident that, hey, you got this. There are people that actually like what you're doing, and they believe in you, and it will come. You have to be patient. It's really, if you're not patient, you can get discouraged very fast, because there's no guarantee, there's no and also like you have to. Yeah, there's a lot of competition. You know, sometimes it's you're not necessarily picked because you're talented. Sometimes it just be because somebody could be picked because he has a better profile than you, or more marketable in some field.
Okay.
So you can never know.
Yeah, exactly. If you could collaborate now with one of your favorite DJs, who would it be? And
Would
why?
be? Wow, I mean, if I would just sometimes it's not even if I would just stay and just witness what they're doing, for me that would be more than enough. Collaborating would be like the cherry on top, but like if I could just be what Louis, the guy that I would consider a mentor, if I could just be in the studio with Louis Vega and just watching him doing, I think this would just be enough. Collaborating, I mean, hey, hopefully we could always hope for things, but I think. Right now, I mean, I'm producing some music, and hopefully, I'll get the feedback and help from bigger names.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, no, it's this year. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Year. Yeah,
this is your year, huh?
Yeah, this is it.
What's the best advice you've received from someone? A DJ, a mentor?
Yeah. I remember. There's this DJ from Chicago. His name is Roy Davis Jr. Yeah, he came in the early 2000s, and he was a pretty known DJ in the underground scene, and we were playing together. He was our guest DJ, and after the night, we would talk. You know, I was asking him, hey, so how do you manage this? Because he was touring, and how do you deal with all this? How's it been doing for you? And one thing I'll never forget until this day, he told me, there's no such thing as hype. Don't ever get caught by the hype. Because the hype is something that comes and goes, and it's when you feel like the love, the appreciation you get from people, but sometimes it comes and goes, and the same people that would praise you, it could be the same people that will destroy you the minute you're messing up. So it's like don't ever get caught up in the hype, because it's not real. It's not as real as it pretends to be. And you always have to watch out to just remain and keep working hard. And just when somebody, let's say, are giving you all compliments and all kinds of praise, that's the exact moment that you need to even improve and be better, and not sit on your laurels just because you heard that people, like, you're that good, Pat, you're the best. Like, yeah, you could take the compliment and say thank you, but keep it moving. Don't just say, they told me I'm the best, so I must be the best. Then your head gets big, and that's when we see a lot of DJs fall, because they get caught by the hype. They became too arrogant, and they think that they can never improve, and next thing you know, start to fall. So yeah, that's the best advice I'd give.
Now, Pat, if you could give an advice for someone who aspires to become a DJ, what would it be? Briefly.
Yeah, I would say talent doesn't always come first, because sometimes, like I said just earlier, like there will be moments that you won't be picked because of what you're doing. It's more, sometimes there's a decision that is out of your control. Sometimes there are people that they won't necessarily be able to recognize talent. Some people are placed in a position where they don't really know what they're doing, or they're not so competent, but they have their own agenda. If they say, hey, we want to go for someone who's very good looking, but it's not that great, but it's out of your control, So sometimes don't get frustrated by things like that. It will happen. So if it was an advice, I wish I would receive what I was earlier, because I think I was maybe a bit naive, but yeah, I would say that talent doesn't always come first. There's other items that make someone picked or not.
And now this is the fun part of my podcast.
It was fun the whole time.
Thank you.
It was fun the whole
it's
time.
my pleasure, honestly, having you as my first guest tonight. If you could choose one poster on this wall, and related to your life, your journey, what would it be?
You just need to start.
This one, yeah?
Yeah, you just need to start. It spoke to me a lot, because at some point, there were times I was not, how can I say, because of my upbringing, immigrant parents that sort of like make you want to go to the safety route. Sometimes it could stop you from pursuing your dream or pursuing what you really want to do. And I think when that spoke to me was I just need to start, is because sometimes you have to be a bit like reckless. You have to be able to, I don't know, not to overthink So you just need to
gotta
start.
take the
Yeah, you
step.
just need to start, you know, because if you overthink too much, you'll never start. But and that barrier, I mean, it's so hard to go over, because I think a lot of people stumble in that when they want to do. I'm sure there's a lot of people, they're doing jobs that they don't like, and sometimes some of them, like, they don't have a choice. Sometimes it's not because they didn't want to, they didn't have the will. It's just sometimes it's you just need to have that déclic to just say, okay, let me just start somewhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could just be small things. It could just be writing on paper what you need to do, but at least you start.
Just start.
Yeah, it's really a mental, it's a mindset. Yeah, you need to start.
But it was my pleasure having you on my podcast.
Pleasure.
I'm really grateful for that, and I want to tell you thank you for giving the audience maybe a piece of advice or maybe an idea of what's happening behind being a DJ.
Yes.
Not just, you know, being behind the set happy and making people happy.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everyone who were watching my episode, thank you so much. I want to tell you that if you really enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes. Until next time, thank you.